Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. I got something a little different here today. It's my 89 Chevy pickup truck. It's just my yard truck for just going out to the bush and out to the field and whatnot. But what we going on here, if you can see, just this bottom corner of the left side frame rail is kind of rotted out, but it's only rotted out a couple, maybe inch and a half up off the bottom. Kind of right underneath the front cab mount. And this bottom side, I don't know what happened to this here one, why it's so rotted out, but yeah, you can stick your fingers right down inside there. Come on, focus. And a little bit on the back side. It's not so bad on the back side, but it's got a little hole right in there, but I looked on the inside up the hole, shone a flashlight in there, and once you get above that point, it's all good. And once you get up to past this hole in the bottom here, it's all good. But I do have another frame rail. I've actually got a whole frame that I could swap the whole body onto, but that would mean it would take me a while to deal with, and I just kind of want the truck for season. I'll worry about that at another time. But yet, you look at the other frame rail here, and I looked inside, and I even took some calipers from the inside, but it's not rotted at all. Like, it's in perfect condition. Like, I don't understand why one would rot out and the other one wouldn't. Like, unless it's all because of this factory, or when the truck was new at the one time back in '89, that they put this tarred undercoating, and from what I understand, it just seems like moisture gets in behind it, and like I said, like, the rocker panels are getting rotted out. I'm going to fix these up, especially I'll use that for my practice session for trying out doing my rocker panels and whatnot before I get into my good truck. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to have to just take this fuel line bracket off of here. At least this has got flex lines, not like most of the other ones that got the steel lines. Yeah, come on, focus. But yeah, this here's got stainless steel flex lines in here, and they're easier to deal with. Like my 88's got it, this 89's got it, but all the other GM trucks got the steel lines like all the way up, just like this here. But this one happened to have the flex line, and you cannot buy them from the dealer if you damage these flex lines. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to take this here off, and then I'm gonna have to obviously turn you guys around here. I have to take this park brake cable off so I can get a zip wheel in here to trim off this part of the frame, and we'll see what happens from there. I just lopped off a chunk because I got a hunk of frame rail sitting outside here, but I wouldn't lopped off this chunk off of it, which is off the same side. So this would be looking at the bottom side anyway. But this here one is, if you look on the inside, it's perfect on the inside. Like, it's not corroded through or anything like that. So this here will be the inside of the frame. So I'll come up from here. I'll start cutting the stuff off the truck first and then I'll mark it out where I want this here one cut. Otherwise, the same dimensions. And I thought about splitting this here weld seam on the bottom, but I think I'm just going to leave that intact. It's all good. But I'll just, because you got the different line-up holes and stuff like that, so I'll cut it off. And then I got extra frame rail here, so if I have to, like, wherever I join it, I may put just a small overlap fish plate on it. Like I said, I've repaired worse frames in the past, but this one's just going to be hanging around the farm. There's no point, doing all the work right now, because I may end up see how the rest of the body fares out. But for around the yard and hauling my firewood out of the bush, it's good enough. So it's easier for me just to take a chunk out of it. Because this here frame that came off, it was it was 92 extended cab. But guy I got it from, he just gave me the engine and the whole front section. All he wanted me to chop the frame off right back here and basically turn into a truck box trailer because it wouldn't pass safety because yeah, he just didn't want to go through all the trouble doing all the inspections and stuff like that. So he wanted a truck box trailer made out of it, and so he just gave me the engine, transmission, and the front half basically, and he just wanted the back half. That's how I ended up with that. So yeah, I thought about, yeah, it would have been easier just to pull the front end off and cut the frame exactly where this one is and weld that on and then gusset it up, fish plate or whatnot. It would have been a whole lot easier, but that's still a lot of work. And then I'd have to change all the control arms because the bushings are, well, I pulled them all off on that frame anyway. But anyways, I'm going to start by taking that park brake cable, disconnecting that joint and remove those fuel lines out of the way. And then we'll start figuring out how I'm going to hack this all up. Hey, we'll get back to you in a bit. Okay. Excuse me. I'll try getting this here. I had to put a little extra spring on here because the original one, apparently that one broke. Okay, so I'll have to get a new spring for that too. But anyways, had to put a spring on here because the one that's on the cable, they're kind of collapsed over the years, but the park brake still works. Now, just a matter of getting this thing. I need to kind of reposition the light here a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, well, got it to flip out. I'll worry about getting it back in after. Alright. Yeah, I'll get myself a screwdriver and pry that thing out of there. Yeah, I sure wish I had a hoist for doing this kind of stuff, but I don't, so everything's sitting on jack stands, and there we go. That's what I wanted. I'll worry about breaking it or not loose when I go to put it back together. But I'll see if I can get you guys up a little closer here. Give you a little bit more light up there too. Okay. I'll turn you guys down a little bit. Okay, so the case like this here, because you got this cable going through the thing, I think it's around 1/2 inch, but I just, that's going to be an issue. Well then, I'm just going to try to release a spring clip on here. Because usually if I don't have that, for most of them I could just slip a socket over there, deep socket, and it'll slide right through. Maybe I got a half inch drive, maybe it'll slip on. Yeah, try this on, see if it actually gets over that spring. Oh, there we go. Okay. Needs to be apparently a little bit bigger. So grab the next size up, I guess. So I'm not 100% sure what size it was. Yeah, try 9/16. Okay, probably it's too big. I went to grab the wrong one there, but I'm not 100% sure what the problem is here. Usually it works. Here, give me a minute, I'll get this thing off of here. Hey guys, I finally fought with it. There was too much colorful language to get this thing unclipped, but we got her out. Now I just gotta try just to get the cable out of here without kinking it too badly. There we go. Because now I can just figure out where I'm gonna tuck this thing. I think I'll set it up over under here somewhere. As long as I get it out of my way from welding, I'll have to, yeah, I guess I can set it up over top the frame here someplace. There, at least that'll be out of the way for now, so I'll take you guys up on the other side there somewhere and reposition the light here and see if I can't set you guys up under here someplace. There we go. Get the fuel lines off of here now. Give you guys a little bit more light on there on the subject. At least on the upside with these flux lines. Oh, actually surprised these things are coming out easy enough. I just got to make myself some room so I can actually get in here to get a zip wheel in there to cut and do my welding and whatnot. I guess I'm going to have to be extremely careful and wrap the... I'm thinking I'll probably just wrap the fuel lines with some tin foil. Okay, you can go up there for now. Because I definitely don't want to disconnect the fuel lines and have fumes around here where I'm trying to weld after. I may have to re-drill these holes depending where I cut this thing off to, but because the other part of frame rail, because it was came off an automatic and a newer model, so it didn't have this same fuel line bracket. Oh. That's okay, I can just, at least I can get my fingers in there if I have to just re-drill it or whatever. But I'm going to grab myself, hold on a second, I'm going to grab myself an impact, speed this up a little. Hey, we'll try this. I'll speed it up a little. Give her some more torque. Give her all the beans. There, that's a lot better. But yeah, so I'll just get these fuel lines out of the way here. I just will have to kind of probably be careful with that one. But otherwise I can hook it up over top of here. I could probably run a zip tie. There's a little hole up here just to keep it clamped up because I definitely don't want to break that loose. So I'll just tie it back with a zip tie or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, this top portion of the frame, you stick your finger in there, it's full thickness. Once you've got the one hole on this side here, but as soon as you kind of get up just around this bolt hole, it's not corroded through or anything. It's just along the bottom here, and I'm thinking something must have settled in there, because I know one time my master cylinder was leaking, and I replaced that, so I wonder if brake fluid got down in the frame and it settled down there with the dirt. Because it is, brake fluid is somewhat, over time, kind of slightly corrosive. I know it peels, eats the paint. But yeah, you just got this massive rust hole right in the bottom here. It just rotted right up, yet the other side is absolutely perfect. I don't understand why one side is like that, the other side is not. So it's kind of one of those things, like, that's why I figure I'm just gonna figure where I'll start cutting little bits at a time here, a minimal amount, and just cut it only back as far as I absolutely need it. And once I get the thick material, and then I'll clean it up really good. I have to scrape off this here tar undercoating because otherwise it'll be kind of a pain with the zip wheel. But yeah, I'll cut it off and then I'll just measure it all out so it with that chunk of frame that I got, and I'll cut a patch panel, and then after that I'll just cut a couple little triangles, or not triangles, but little diamond shaped pieces, and I'll just fish plate over top where my seams are, just to make sure it doesn't crack. It shouldn't, but just to make sure, get a little bit extra support. But yeah, I just didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time robbing the cab, because If the cab starts rotting out too much, well then I may just deal with one of my other trucks that have good frames that got some body work need to be done and rust prevention. But yeah, once I get it all done, then I'll spray it down with some fluid film or something like that. Apparently that should have been the answer quite a few years ago. I wouldn't have this problem now, I guess. But I guess ultimately, I guess a couple of times a year, a person should get down inside these frame rails and wash out all that dirt and then spray it down with oil or something just to keep it from rotting out. Otherwise, that's what ends up happening if a person doesn't take a little bit of time, a couple times a year to deal with that. And that's where majority's frames rot out. And I know the box frames, the tube frames, they seem to be worse because you don't have as many. Like with this C-channel frame, like the rest of the frame is perfect. It's just this one spot. So I figured that's why I'd patch it up. Okay, I'll kind of get back to you here in a bit. I'll go set up and I'll clean some of this here tar off with a scraper and get that cleaned off so it doesn't gum up my zip wheel so bad. And we'll try to cut that on the other side here. Oh, I think the hardest part's going to be, I'll see if you guys can actually see this, but don't have exactly enough light here. But where the cab mount is underneath here, I don't want to cut the cab mount right off. I don't want to take these bolts off because chances are they'll break. But I just got to trim it up just a little bit just so I can get this here rotted part because this next slot up here just I'm not sure what those slots are for, speed holes. But start cut. Yeah. Oh, dust. But anyways, yeah. So start trimming this bottom up, and yeah, I just gotta cut into there a little bit. Let's see if I can actually. Oh, there's a little bit of light off the impact. But yeah, otherwise I just cut a little slit out of these cab mounts, and then I'll just start trimming it back just a little bit with a zip wheel. I'll start on the back side because then I can get and a little bit off the bottom, and I can actually get the zip wheel on the back side to finish trimming it off, and then I'll cut out a piece to patch it up and weld her up. Okay, I'll bring you back when I get set up for that. Alright, so I got you set up here. I just took a little bit of time, just cleaned off some of this tar undercoating here, so I'm going to attempt to start kind of zipping this down here a little bit and see what happens. Just take little chunks off at a time. I don't want to cut any more than absolutely necessary. Well guys, yeah, sorry about the compressor running, but oh yeah, there it's shut off. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I'll try to see if I can get this light over a little farther. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so basically, whoops. Once I get up inside there, you get up where this other hole is on the back side, and it's pretty much, whoops. That wasn't what I intended on doing. There we go. Where was I? So yeah, so basically, I really can't see much in there. There it is. Here's a kind of a hole in there, but right along this line here, that's where all the crap was sitting, and this is kind of rotted out. But right above here, it's full thickness all the way to the top. And as soon as I get right above this part here, and yeah, get about a ½ inch higher up, and it's full thickness in there. So it just seems like this bottom corner, so like I said, I'm gonna just take it off little bits at a time and just see how solid it is. But yeah, you can see right there, it's already getting solid even in the corners here, but it's just on the flat where it rotted out. So yeah, so I'm gonna set you guys up on time lapse, so I'll hack out a little bit more of this stuff. I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, I got some of this trimmed back. I think I'll come a little bit farther back here because I can just feel where it thickens up. So I may include this here hole because there's a hole in the other part of the frame. So I may just cut it back to here because a little thin spot right there. And that side already on there, you can see it's already full thickness. Right here is a little bit thin for another ½ inch to about here. And the same with the, where'd my finger go? With the bottom here, it's a little thin to about just about halfway to this hole. So I may cut it back little bits at a time, but otherwise, yeah, you can kind of see it's a little thin there, but it's thick right here. So I've tried to take as minimal off, and like this one piece I already trimmed off because that there's the cab mount, so I can weld that back onto the other portion of the frame. But otherwise, once I got up to where that other little slot is, it's full thickness up there, so not an issue over there. I'll just trim it off so it's square, so I don't have to do as much bridging the gap with welding. And but yeah, other than that, I see there's a little tiny hole right there. And yet if I feel around, it's just thin right there for a little bit, then it's thick again. So I don't know, I may just drill it out and then just put a chunk of metal on the inside or a little strip on there and plug weld it on. But yeah, I may just weld that up. But yeah, we'll just kind of keep trimming at this here for a bit, and I'll bring you back when I get some sizable difference going on here and start fitting up the other piece. Okay, I'll bring you back because it's kind of hard to deal with this with trying to get my arms around the camera and try not to spray the thing down with sparks and whatnot. I don't know how that actually looked in there because I couldn't see the camera while I was trying to keep the sparks out of my face. But anyways, yeah, so I'll bring you back when I got a little bit more of this stuff hacked away here. Well, guys, hey, kind of forgot to video this, but I got this kind of finally trimmed out to kind of where I wanted. Got rid of all the thin parts, and it's actually got quite a bit of thickness to it now. I got rid of all the rotten stuff, and my other frame, oh, I got this other chunk cut out right here. And yeah, it's in pretty good shape. It was a bit of a pain trying to slip this original weld because I wanted the overlap because this little corner was a little rotted out on the other one. So this one's full thickness and not rotted at all, but I still got to do a little bit of trimming on here because it doesn't quite fit. I just didn't want to take off too much in one shot, but you kind of get the idea and then get it fit in there. But it's getting closer. It'll take a little bit to get it all lined up, but yeah, I cut it a little oversized because otherwise there's no real good way to measure, so it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't have all these brake lines and fuel lines and stuff like that up on top, which when I go to weld it, I'm going to have to take some sheet metal and make some shields, just kind of prop them up there. But I definitely don't want to pull the fuel lines out of the way or disconnect them because they need fumes or whatnot. They don't need to start a fire. So yeah, definitely being very careful about that. Got my fire extinguisher handy, even when I'm grinding. But yeah, otherwise, like I said, I gotta trim this off a little bit higher because it doesn't want to quite. Yeah, it's got to go up a little higher so I can get that flushed out on that side, and then yeah, so that'll take me a little bit of work. So yeah. It'll be a lot of trial and error and grind a little bit, fit it, grind a little bit more, make, get it as best fit to match. Like I got all my measurements, but like I said, the final part here, it's getting there. Because otherwise the holes will, even all the line-up holes will be in the exact same position. But yeah, I just gotta trim it up a little higher, but 1/4 inch on the one spot and about 1/8 inch on the other spot. So yeah, I'll continue doing that, and I'll bring you back when I get it fitted up a little better and when I get ready to put it in. But yeah, it's not something I would normally do, but like I said, kind of one of those disclaimers, like don't do this at home type thing, but you got to figure the frames are only welded together to begin with, and realistically, I'm not real impressed with the factory welding. Like, it didn't take much to run a zip wheel and split that together weld. Like, they're not on there very good. So this replacement piece I got is actually welded a little bit better than what the original one was here. But yeah, I don't get it. Like, you got to figure with all the robotics and stuff like that, welding this stuff, you'd think they'd do a lot better job, but nope, they don't want them to last. They want you to buy another vehicle. But like I said, this one just hangs around. Like, I do got another frame, but I just don't have the time to monkey with it right now. Like, I eventually, like, I'll probably put because the other one with the good frame on it, the body's all beat up and whatnot, but it's still kind of same thing, regular cab, long box, so. But at least I do got a frame. But the rest of the frame is all perfect on here. Like, there's no corrosion. But with these C-channels, they don't seem to have that issue because everything kind of gets out of there. But otherwise, yeah, you can see it's got lots of thickness. So just right in this bottom corner. And yet the other side is perfect. For whatever reason, this side, I don't know, must be the side that the tire rides in the slush on the road all the time. Yeah, mind you, I do lots of gravel road driving, so I'm about at least 30 kilometers to the nearest pavement. So yeah, so the rocks chew it up, but I don't know, I guess maybe the left wheel kicks up more rocks where I happen to be driving or whatever the case may be, but anyways, so to get back to trimming this piece in, like I said, I got this all finished off. Now I just gotta trim my patch panel in, and I'll bring you back when I get it fitted. I kind of trimmed it back a little bit there, and I'll see how much more we got to go. Still got a bit more to go on there. Definitely getting closer. Yeah, so it's going to take a little bit of time there just to get it fitted up. So once I get it fitted up, I'll bring you guys back when I go to position it and tack it in. Hey guys, I got this thing all trimmed off here and got it fitted up. Now he's gonna set it into place here. Oh, come on, get in there. Kind of get this thing put into place here with the magnets, and this kind of holds it into place here anyway. See if I can find a spot that it's going to stick to. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to just do this one side to start with and get a couple of tacks, because that's where it's going to be anyway. Then I'll have to put a jack underneath here and get that thing propped into place. Yeah, that's going to work right there. I'll get a couple of tacks in there, but I'm going to have to put some shielding up underneath my fuel line here so it doesn't burn my fuel line and any electrical here. So I'll figure that out here in a little bit. I just want to check my gaps here. Well, I'll start off with one tack here. Get that kind of set in place. So I can get move the magnet and put a jack underneath here to kind of position it. This isn't exactly ideal for me. But well, get a couple of tacks in there anyway, and there, at least now I can actually pull these magnets off and hey, I'm gonna set up a jack under there just to kind of, because right now I got my seam lined up here. I just gotta put a jack underneath here to hold it up tight on the other side so I can tack the other side. I think probably what I'll do is put you guys on time lapse here and kind of get some of this stuff going here. Taking too long as it is. I said I wish I had a hoist, because this working upside down and laying on your back is a real pain. Hey, I guess I'll put you on time lapse, and I'll get the jack under there first, and then I'll put you on time lapse. Okay, I got the one side welded on here, and that's looking pretty good anyway. I'll just probably maybe put a couple fish plates in here. Right in here, I'm going to drill another hole here and a hole down there, because that fuel line bracket's got a at least my fuel lines didn't get hot at all, because I put that shield up there. But yeah, I'll just put a couple of small fish places to cross over the welds. I'll grind it down a little bit, plug weld it, and just be on the safer side. But otherwise, looking pretty good. I don't want that. Yeah, I'll take a look. For what I can see, it's a pretty good penetration right through there. It's better than the factory welds by the looks of that thing. You really got to wonder, like, you look at this here side here, yeah, little skinny, crappy welds. Like, there's not much there. So realistically, I think this here is going to be stronger. Let's see how hot it is right here. That's not so bad. Oh yeah, I could feel the bead come right through the other side. That's good, because I left beveled it out and left a little bit of a gap so I get full penetration. But yeah, that's about all I could do with this thing, so I'll finish welding it out and I'll bring you back with once I get to the. It's kind of a pain to trying to weld under here when I keep getting blocking your guys' view anyway. It's hard to get a good view on anything, and it's kind of crowded under here with all these jack stands. Like I said, I got pretty much all my jack stands under here. I'm trying to keep pressure on this here so it doesn't sag down, so I want it in the right position, because right now I've got a little bit of slack on this one and a little bit on that one. So once I release the tension on this here one, because I just want to make sure it was holding up in the right position. It shouldn't have sagged, because the outer part of the frame rail was perfectly fine, but the body lines all still line up perfectly, so that works for me anyway. That's better than what it was. So I'll finish welding this out. I got a run a bead down along in here. And on the other side, I clamp this part over a little bit because it's got a little bit of a, not bad. I'll just put a clamp on there and tack that, weld that in place. But other than that, I'll finish welding that out, and don't want to get the camera too close under here because I keep running into stuff. But anyways, so I'll bring you back in a bit. Well guys, I got it all welded in place here. I put in just a couple of fish plates. I just used just a washer and kind of ground the weld back down just to make sure the weld seam didn't crack or anything. Like I said, it's probably right now. I'll show the back side here. But yeah, otherwise, it's all well together. Threw a couple fish plates. Had to drill 2 new holes. The one on top here is the original, but the other frame didn't have these 2 holes for this kind of fuel line. So I drilled and tapped those, but otherwise, this is the bottom rail here. Because it's part of the new frame chunk. And so it's got the complete overlap, and yeah, it's definitely probably stronger than what it was from the factory. And yeah, realistically, they keep saying, you're not supposed to weld your frame, but I'll tell you, it's a whole lot better than the rotted out frame. And yeah, that's not something that most people should be doing on their own if you don't know how it's supposed to work. At least I'm not using just mild steel. At least it is the proper spec frame rails that I patched in. So it'll definitely work. But like I said, it's just for around for, I do have another frame for it, but I just don't have time to deal with it now. So yeah, I just gotta mount my bracket on. Actually, I'm gonna paint this all first, but yeah, I got my fuel line bracket already painted, and so I'll get that painted up. And I don't think you guys need to sit there and watch paint dry, but yeah, total disclaimer, yeah, I don't recommend anybody, unless you know what you're doing. And yeah, shops do it all the time, and a lot of people do it all the time, but yeah, the rest of the frame, yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you look at the rest of it, I don't know if you can see in there, it's perfect. It's just that one spot, and the other side, kind of the same thing. You go on the other side, it's full thickness, and I looked around inside, picked all the dirt out of there, and it is not rotted, but for some reason, whatever got into this frame rail just ate out this bottom corner and along this bottom lip here. Whether just from the rocks beating on it from the front tire, I'm not 100% sure, but well, I guess for an 89, I guess that's not too terribly bad. At least it was kind of easily accessible, and yeah, it should probably last the life of the truck. But as I said, if it does create a problem, like I said, I put jack stands all the way across here, got 7 jack stands holding this thing up. I just wish I had a hoist to do it, but so at least it was all level, so the frame didn't get tweaked at all, and it's not pulling because it's still. This is only not even 25% of the frame. It's just that bottom couple inches. I took a chunk out, but the top section, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that little bit on the bottom. I just kind of, if it was looking thin, I cut it out. I just kept cutting until I got into good stuff. So yeah, burned in a good weld, and I looked on the inside, and because I V'd it all out, and I looked on the inside there, and yeah, the bead sticking out the back side. So it's definitely it'll hang on. But I said, just for extra insurance, I just put these washers on there so I could plug weld it and weld it around it. So if it happens to want to twist or crack, that'll kind of slow it down somewhat. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. But for the most part, it's not going to leave the farm anyway. Just running out to the bush for firewood and whatnot, and out to the field. But yeah, okay, so I guess if you like this kind of thing, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. I know it's a lot of guys, lots of viewers, but not too many people subscribing for some reason. But oh well, I guess that's just the way it is. I'm not into the political stuff, so I'm not going to get into that at all, so I'll just keep fixing my old junk and carry on. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw this part in here, give it the, put it all, finish putting the fuel line back on and back into position, and got that bolted on, and I gave the thing a coat of paint, and I'm going to wait till I get it outside before I actually, because I want to put some fluid film inside the rail, but otherwise, yep, it's all done, and even freed up, got my park brake cable back together, and of course this here spring's a little stretched out or collapsed, so I just took a piece of plumber strap with a little bolt to it, just to put some relief on there, so that way it returns when you take your foot off when you release the brake. But yep, otherwise it turned out pretty good in there. Oh. Almost looks like new again. Now it's just gonna make me to do extra work to it. Alrighty, okay, so this is where it ends. I just figured I'd just throw this in, that I got it painted up, and now it's all completed. Okay, catch you guys in the next one.